anyone can answer, and maybe we'll sort of popcorn around. But you know, I think a lot of people in a corporation as this size are interested in sort of what's next in their career and what can they do to get to that next level. All of you on this, or sitting up here, have had successful careers both here and in other places. What is something that each of you could share that you'd like to share with someone who might ask the question, you know, what do you sort of say is a bit of advice for someone looking to get to the next level? And again, anyone can take this one.
I can start. Well, I would say understanding the culture that you're in. Gap culture is really different. And I came from banking, 10 plus years in banking, investment, corporate banking. It's really a different environment. It's where things are kind of cutthroat, very intense, competitive. There's a lot of self-promotion to get ahead, to survive, really. So when I came here, I remember Sabrina Signer, she kind of gave me a little coaching. You know, just be a little bit be a little softer in your approach. Kinder and gently, a little more empathy, and just tone it down a little bit. I think I'm being so nice. I can't nicer, but I took away, and you have to really look around the culture that you're in, because whatever worked for you to survive in one environment doesn't always work for another culture. So you have to kind of know where you are and look around and make the adjustment as needed, because unless you adapt, you can't succeed. And the other thing I would also emphasize is being proactive and just really anticipating your manager's needs, and just doing that stuff before you even ask is always a nice surprise. And I think, you know, being told what to do versus being proactive is always helpful.
So I can speak a little bit to this. I think if I look at personally and look at my arc of leadership, I think I'm still at the beginning of that rather than the end of that leadership journey. So all of us are going through this journey, and it's a journey really, not a destination, right? So having said that, I think one thing as leaders or as individuals we have to embrace is critical junctures. You have to make courageous decisions. As those decisions may lead you to some uncertainty in your path, but it will be for the better. And so examples I would give you is, often you get into a situation where you feel like you have reached a plateau, both in terms of either learning or in terms of sharing your learning with others. And if you feel that way, you know, if you feel that you have reached that plateau, it is honestly time to either move within the organization or move somewhere else. And many people don't have that courage that I've seen, who have the skills and the talent, but don't have that courage. And I would say that that is one critical element for you to grow. And whether it is growing vertically or horizontally, it is really growing exponentially. That's what I care about. That's what most of us should care about. It's not just the vertical ladder climbing. It's how you do it differently. So for an example, I was at Cisco for 7 years, doing really well, and this opportunity to work in the startup came along. Now, I had never worked in the startup before, and this was really heading up R&D for them, which I had never done before. So, moving from IT to R&D is a tough ask for most people, but I really embraced that opportunity, and it turned out to be a great opportunity for me 3 years later. So, I think each of us are faced with those decisions. And I would encourage you to really think about the bolder decisions, what it means to you. It will make you a better leader as a result.
It's hard, right? So said a little bit differently, because I think of it as what you're comfortable with and being okay to step outside your comfort zone. And if you have either a mentor or a coach or a great boss or a friend, I mean, someone that you can leverage, so that when you do get to that uncomfortable place, it's okay. I mean, that's another way to think about courage. So you're never going to grow or learn if you stay within the confines of what you always know. I mean, I came to IT from business. It's uncomfortable.
You're still trying to teach her.
We're like long-lost siblings. This is why we have a table in between us.
I think you're the brother she takes care of.
So have to step outside your comfort zone. And when you go through PPNA conversations, your manager likely says that. You know, how do you push yourself? How do you stretch yourself? So it's not always about how many more projects you take on. It's how many more ways that you want to expand on what you're good at. And whether it's speaking in front of people or moving to a completely different department. I think lately the advice that I've been giving people is we're quick to ask, what do you want to do, right? What do you really want to do? And be focused in on that one or two thing. So, I mean, the more clear that you get with what you don't want to do, then it kind of leaves everything else as an open field. Fair game. It's a little bit easier to think about it that way.
I'll just add to this conversation and share an experience I had relatively early in my career, and so I consider myself very lucky. I was in this training program, and just to make the story easy, I was working in a department called media, and I wanted to be in this department called account management, but you had to spend 2 years in media before you could move into account management. So I went into the media department, didn't really have the best attitude about being there, because that's not where I wanted to be. I wanted to get my career going. And one day my boss sat me down, and she said, Bobbi, I know that you really want to be in account management, but let me tell you, you're not going to get there if you don't do a good job in the job you're in, which is media. So she said, you're either going to decide you're going to be a media professional right now, or you're not. And I thought that was really great advice, because I was too busy looking over the fence of the job that I wanted, and didn't really think about the job that I was in. And man, that kick in the butt was really good, because I got my act together, and the program was a 2-year program, and I got promoted in 18 months. But it's because someone gave me that perspective, and I also realized that here she was a media professional. I was really disrespecting her profession by not taking my job seriously. And now today, reflecting back, a couple decades ago, being in the media department, it's one of the skills that I used probably throughout my career, and I'm so glad that I learned it. So that was a really good lesson. So I guess the big takeaway is think about the job you have, and are you doing the most and the best you can, rather than just focusing on the prizes over the fence.
Great. Again, really good answers. I think you've heard it here.